Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you? This is Freddie Ewan, two-time GM of the Year, Pantheon Cup champion, host of that fantasy football show with Freddie Ewan, still the fantasy football god, coach GM, whatever you want to call me. Week 7 was pretty exciting. Lots of things to talk about today. Lots and lots of injuries going down. The waiver wire has been pretty boring on fantasy football the last couple weeks. I got a feeling that is going to change dramatically with what happened on week 7. This is why, you just got to love the NFL and fantasy football because it's constantly changing. You got to keep in tune if you want to keep up and handle that. We're going to talk about a lot of things that went down this week. Um, Lots of interesting things. Let me see if I can get my screen shared with you. The first guy we're going to talk about is, oh boy, Deshaun Watson tore Achilles. I think it was out last year. Was he out last year for the rest of the season? Yeah, he was. Flacco was in for him. They made the playoffs. What? 3 first-round picks to the Texans. Looking what the Texans are doing. I don't know if this guy's career is done with. I know that a lot of these guys, Dorian Thompson Robertson is going to be the starting quarterback now for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think there's really any fantasy relevance at all with the Cleveland Browns. They did get to interview Deshaun Watson after the game. Um, and here's what he had to say.
Lawyer hasn't let me get a fucking massage in months. No rub downs, not a damn thing for Deshaun. And as a result, my leg was tight today. I was finally having a good game against the Bengals. But when I went to run the ball, I felt my Achilles tendon tear. It sucks, but it doesn't matter much to me. I have a $230 million fucking guaranteed contract. It wouldn't matter if I got amputated. The money still shows up in my bank account. I'll see you guys later.
Well, that's a lot of truth there to Deshaun Watson. Huge money, biggest guaranteed money at the time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, just unbelievable how bad the Cleveland Browns are. Moving along, let's go over to the next injury. Another big injury that we had is Brandon Ayuk tears his ACL. He is going to be out for the season. Ricky Pearsall made his debut. He got shot. Second guy in the NFL who got shot. Second rookie in the NFL got shot in back-to-back years. He is back on the field, though, thankfully. Deebo Samuel was out for a little bit during the game as well. George Kittle is playing really well. The San Francisco 49ers they are really banged up right now, but I think you're going to find, Juwan Jennings had a phenomenal game a couple weeks ago, and then he's on a lot of waiver wires as well. But I think both Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings are guys that you really want to look after now that Ayuk tears his ACL, especially if you own one of those guys. Another big injury on board for fantasy football owners and Commander fans. This guy's been playing unbelievable. Lights out. This guy might even be the MVP this year, but Jane Daniels gets banged up. He has an rib injury. X-rays are negative. He is probably going to be out maybe for a game or two. After the RJ3 situation that happened, a decade ago, Jane Daniels is the real deal, just like RG3 was, and I really hope the Commanders just take good care of him. A lot of designed runs for him sometimes. Jane's a guy that can throw the ball and run the ball. He's got a great future here in the NFL. I just hope that the Commanders take care of him, start drafting some offensive linemen, and just make sure that he is taken care of. It's a tough one for fantasy owners, but Daniels is only going to be out for a week or two. Let's talk about another injury. I know there was another injury somewhere. Oh, Juju. Juju got banged up. Juju got banged up a little bit too. So Juju, everyone thought, he was in pretty much everyone's lineup after what he did the week before. But Ray aggravated a hamstring, tweaked it, and went out earlier. It's going to be possible that he misses a little bit of time. Xavier Worthy, also a big candidate. Kansas City is really winning with defense right now. Patrick Mahomes is not a reliable fantasy quarterback at this point. I think you should really start looking about other guys that you can put in, possibly Russell Wilson after what he did last night. But I don't think even Travis Kelce he's had one good game. It's really hard to find who is going to be that guy in Kansas City right now. But I can tell you one thing that's going on in Kansas City, and that is Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, another good game yesterday. He's averaging 26 touches a game over the last 2 weeks, has scored 3 touchdowns in that pan. Basically, Hunt was on this team 5 or 6 years ago. Kansas City signs him right after the injury to the star running back. Carson Steele plays a game, does all right, fumbles in the first quarter in the next game, and Kareem Hunt is all of a sudden the bell cow in Kansas City. Um, Pretty phenomenal job by Kareem Hunt yesterday. Let's talk about a couple more running backs. This guy right here, who I absolutely love, Joe Mixon. This guy is playing phenomenal. I always like running backs that are on teams that score a lot. The Texans score a lot, and he is really the engine of this offense. He has been a top 3 running back, I think, in the 3 games that he played. Looks like he is fully healthy now. Good guy to keep an eye on. Joe Mixon's playing phenomenal. Here's another guy that we want to talk about too is how about Tank Bigsby, what Tank Bigsby is doing in Jacksonville. Travis Etienne was out yesterday. Bigsby comes in 26 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think Etienne might be in some serious trouble. It's definitely going to be a timeshare there in Jacksonville if he comes back healthy, when he comes back healthy. But I can tell you right now that Tank Bigsby, preseason people, there were a lot of people that were high on Tank Bigsby, and this is the reason why. Great game yesterday in England, really just a phenomenal. Another guy, we're going to go back to the Commanders, and Brian Robinson is in charge of this Washington backfield. Washington put up 40 points. I know their defense put up a bunch of points, but let me just see if I can bring Brian Robinson's numbers up really quickly. Guy's been just lights out. So he has 12 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. No catches yesterday. Terry McLaurin also playing really good. Had 6 targets, 6 receptions, 98 yards. Zach Ertz, still the guy's 187 years old. He had a touchdown yesterday. Commanders win that game 40-7. Another running back that we're going to talk about right now is Chase Brown. It looks like Chase Brown is still going to Chase Brown and Zach Moss are going to probably share the ball. The Bengals played the Browns yesterday. Brown had 15 carries, 44 yards. Zach Moss only 6 carries and 7 yards. Didn't have that great of a game. Did have 2 receptions, but as you can see, Chase Brown is going to be getting the ball a lot. I'm still a little bit worried about Moss getting those goal line carries, but as the season progresses, Chase Brown is going to become more and more a role with the Cincinnati offense. If you are a Breece Hall owner, let's talk about this guy next. And the Jets got their ass kicked. We're going to have an interview with Aaron Rodgers and talk about the Davante Adams trade in just a second. But, Breece Hall, everyone was down on him. He had 2 really, really bad games, I think, in a row. And, everyone was down by Breece. The Jets have a superiorly easy run rate schedule. I think it's the best schedule for running backs the rest of the year. And Breece Hall proved it yesterday. I mean, he had 12 carries, 38 yards and a touchdown, but he also had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 103 yards. A guy really there's not a whole lot of running backs that can both run out of the backfield and catch out of the backfield. CMC is one of them. Breece Hall is one of them. Saquon Barkley is one of them. Gibbs is one of them. There's a couple more guys, Derrick Henry is not one of them, but when you got a running back who can really catch those balls and out of the backfield and also pound the ground, it's a great fantasy player, and that's why running backs always go so high. That's the other guy who I was thinking of, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson took over yesterday as the workhorse, 27 opportunities. Tyler Algier just had 6. Falcons did not put up a whole lot of points yesterday. They lose 34-14 to the Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, once again, another great game, but Bijan had 21 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. He also had 3 receptions, 40 yards. And, the other guy that we're going to talk about really quickly in the tight end section is Pitts. Pitts had a great game yesterday. 9 targets, 7 receptions, 65 yards. And meanwhile, Sam Laporta has just been, this guy dropped Sam Laporta the 2nd or 3rd week in one of my leagues, and I picked him up and, bid a crazy amount of money to get him. And I was thinking, like, this guy is crazy. I can't believe he just dump Laporta, but I think, obviously it looks like the right move. Laporta and Kelsey, a lot of these tight ends are just not getting going. We just keep waiting week after week for these guys to get going, and it's just not happening. Laporta only has 2 targets. He had 1 catch for 25 yards yesterday. That is not going to get done for a tight end. It's really at this point, I don't think it's a good idea to trade any other players for a tight end. And sometimes just checking out these tight end streamers. If you can trade one of these tight ends like Laporta, Kelsey, et cetera, it's probably a good idea to do if you can get some value from them, because it looks like, you pretty much play roulette with the waiver wire and get a different tight end each week who's going to put up the same points as these guys. It's been really disappointing in the tight end this season. Let's talk about this guy too really quickly. Couple more to go through. We're gonna go Devin Singletary. Obviously, Devin Singletary played really good with Houston last year, but Tyrone Tracy is a guy who really needed to watch. Tracy, the Giants got their ass kicked yesterday. The Eagles beat the hell out of them, and Saquon Barkley just ran all over the Giants. Tracy had 6 carries for 23 yards. And he also had three targets, 3 receptions. Tyrone Tracy, I think they're gonna bring this guy back in. I think they're gonna bring Tracy really in and along too. Singletary's a little older. He's on a 1-year contract. Tracy is a young player that the Giants are really gonna start looking to work out. Another guy to keep your eye on, although I don't think he's gonna do much, is Eric Gray. Neighbors didn't have that great of a game yesterday, but once again gets the targets. Wendell Robinson is just a target machine. He's not gonna get you a lot of yards, but if you're in a PPR league or a half PPR league, Wendell Robinson's a good guy to have. 9 targets, 6 receptions, only 23 yards yesterday. And lastly, just a couple things to talk about is here's a tight end who's kicking the crap out of it. Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers has now had 5 top tight end finishes this season. He's the overall tight end #1. He went really early in the draft from the University of Georgia. Everyone knew that Bowers was going to be really good. He's been better than Laporta, Kincaid, all these other guys. Brock Bowers, I don't really, it's tough being on the Raiders and being very successful, but Brock Bowers is a guy who is getting the job done. Absolutely, he's getting the job done. And lastly, let's go and have a little talk about Amari Cooper. I really like Amari Cooper and Davante Adams both got traded. I really like where Amari Cooper is. He only ran 12 routes. I think he did catch a touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, did he catch a touchdown yesterday? I might be wrong. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find out what he did. I'm pretty sure that Cooper did catch a touchdown pass. I know he did not run a lot of routes. Yeah, Cooper had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Keon Coleman had a big day yesterday, but Amari Cooper, I think, is going to be a good addition to this Bills team. I think Josh Allen is going to improve because of him. And Cooper can still play. He had a couple things to say about leaving Cleveland too that I just want to share with you guys really quickly.
Reaction to the trade? I mean, you probably maybe had an inkling something was happening, but now that it's happened, what do you think?
Yeah, it's no secret. Amari Cooper was sick of playing for fucking Cleveland. Amari Cooper was tired of playing with that creepy bum Deshaun Watson, and Amari Cooper demanded to be traded to a Super Bowl contender. Besides, Andrew Berry knew damn well that it didn't matter if Deshaun Watson had Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and fucking Megatron. He still couldn't complete passes and win games. Buffalo might be a shithole city just like Cleveland, but at least this football team has a shot.
Yeah, I guess. How would you like to play in Cleveland and Buffalo? That's going to be pretty bad. And lastly, before we leave you guys, 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. But before we leave this, Aaron Rodgers, lots of things going on with the Jets. They got their ass kicked yesterday by the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they fire their coach. Then they make a big trade. Aaron Rodgers' old buddy in Green Bay, Davante Adams, and just want to show you guys exactly. I got some inside information on how that trade went down, and just wanted to share you guys with that really quickly.
There, Davante, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, hey there. Aaron, the Raiders suck as usual. Gardner Minshew has been throwing hospital balls at me all season. We have no chance of making the playoffs, and I'm kind of hoping they'll trade me out of here.
Well, Davante, why don't you come play for the Jets? I'm basically the coach and general manager here. I might be on one leg, but I still got it. You know, our receivers kind of suck. Adam Lazard and Garrett Wilson both have brick hands, and Mike Williams just fell on his face last night. I can't win with these guys, man. The Jets need you to come help us win the Super Bowl.
All right, Aaron, let's do this. I'm in. How do we make this happen?
Hold on one sec. Let me make a phone call.
Hello, this is Tom Telesco, general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders. Who's calling me?
Tom, this is Aaron Rodgers. I want to trade for Davante Adams.
Okay, Aaron. What are you offering me for Davante? He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You better be offering a good deal.
Yeah, Tom, I'm offering you a 6-pack and a bag of potato chips. Take it or leave it.
You've got a deal, Aaron. That's more than I was expecting. Davante is all yours.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, Davante, welcome to the Jets.
I'm free at last. Let's fucking do this, bro.
So that's how that all went down. Davante Adams is officially a Jet. It'll be interesting to see what he has. Before we go, we're just going to leave you with the top 5 players so far. Russell Wilson on the waiver wire, probably everywhere. Top quarterback. Unbelievable. Drake May also had a big game yesterday. Drake May, they've been pushing him on the waiver wire. Week 7, Amon St. Brown gets it going. George Pickens, big game. Brian Thomas, this guy's been lights out for me in a couple leagues. Brian Thomas has been great. JJ Metcalf, Coleman has a big game. Running backs, let's take a look and see how the running backs went for the top 5 yesterday. Gibbs, big game. Saquon has a big game. Mixon, Tank Bigsby, Breece Hall. See Bijan down there. Javonte finally got going over there in Denver. Let's take a look at our tight ends, our top tight ends. Yesterday, Jonnu Smith, Miami. David Njoku, Brock Bowers, Hunter Henry, George Kittle. Wow. Don't get to Travis Kelce until I don't even know if you can find the guy. But anyway, that's the show. 2 Monday Night Football games. Just want to tell you really quickly about a new league that I'm in. It's called a Guillotine League. We started it last week. I think there was 9 GMs, this is a Matthew Berry site, which is pretty awesome. It's basically you have a draft. I think we had a we had a snake draft, and you have the draft, and each week the team with the last points gets cut. They're done. Their season's over. Their players go into the waiver wire, and you can bid on their players for the week. And then you keep going and you keep going until there's one team left. It is there's a app for it. It's called Guillotine. It's a Matthew Berry app. Heads up to my man Rich for finding that. But there is my man JDOT. JDOT, if you're still watching this, you're a little rusty, my man. It looks like my man. I got to play. This is my rival, and this guy I love playing fantasy football with. I was so happy that we were going to be in a fantasy football league together after he backed out of this league and didn't want to play in any other league. But finally got him into this league, and it looks like he's going to last 1 week and he's going to be cut. A little rusty, my man, but hey, I still got co-GM spots going. So, feel free. I suck at the John Galt League. You can come join me there. And any other league. I think I'm in like 5 or 6 fantasy football leagues. You are always welcome to be my co-host. Anyway, that's the show. Everyone have a great Monday. Enjoy Monday Night Football, guys.